What's up guys, it's Makinde and welcome back to my channel. In this video we're going to be talking about the Xiaomi Redmi 9. It's yet to be released, but we've got some information, we've got some leaks, and we're going to be talking about that in this video. So it's just 2020 and there's a lot of things going on, but Xiaomi has somehow released 4 devices. So you have the Poco F2, the K30 Pro, the Mi 10 Lite, and also the Note 9 series that's been making some buzz because of the specs it packs and the budget pricing. Well, in this video, we're going to be talking about the Redmi 9, and based on the information and leaks we've got from Twitter and other blogs, it seems like the Redmi 9 is going to be released in this month of June. We've got some information on dates. Some blogs are saying 28th of June, but we're looking forward to the release in this June. It also seems like there are going to be 3 different models. So you have the Redmi 9 itself, the more expensive version, and you have the mid-range version, which is the Redmi 9C, and the less expensive version, the Redmi 9A. A Twitter user, Sudhanshu1414, was able to get his hands on some pictures and the specs, and in fact also the pricing of the Redmi 9 series. So we're going to be looking at the specs and see what we should be expecting from the Redmi 9 series. Judging from the Redmi 8 that we saw last year, we expect that the Redmi 9 will come with better specs. But basically, we're still going to expect a glass front, probably a Gorilla Glass 5 protection, a plastic back, and a plastic frame. I mean, based on the price point at which the Redmi 9 comes at, we don't expect much. We don't expect a glass back. So if you're going to have a cheap device, you probably go with the plastic back. There are a couple of corners you need to cut when you want to make a budget device. For instance, it's a cheap device, so you need to go with a plastic frame and a plastic body. According to the leaks, we should be expecting a 1080p Full HD IPS LCD display on the Redmi 9, while on the 9A and 9C, we're going to get 720p IPS LCD, just a HD display. It's very understandable that on the range that's more expensive, you get a better screen, but I would have hoped that all 3 models should come with an 1080p display, because even now, it's 2020, even YouTube doesn't recognize 720 as HD anymore. So if you're going to make a device in 2020, you're going to sell it for probably $160 to $180. They should all come with a 1080p display. Xiaomi seems to be making a transition to MediaTek processors. This should be interesting, and I would like to see how it plays out. Compared to what we saw last year on the Redmi 8, we saw the Snapdragon 439. This year, we're expected to see a variety of MediaTek processors on the Redmi 9 series. The more expensive version, the Redmi 9, is expected to come with a G70 processor and a Mali G52 GPU, while the mid-range version, the 9C, would come with a G35 processor and a Mali G31 GPU. The less expensive version, the Redmi 9A, would come with a G25 and a Mali G31 GPU. I think with the wide range of processors in the MediaTek basket, it would be easier for Xiaomi to set a price differentiation in their lineup, and I think that's why they are making this move. If you have more processors, more options to make, then you can spread them out and put the more expensive ones on the expensive phones and put the cheaper ones on the cheaper phones, and you can set a price differentiation in the lineup. In regards to the camera, we're expecting nothing less than a triple camera setup on the Redmi 9. In fact, the leaked images and specs shows a quad camera setup on the Redmi 9. We're expecting a 30 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel wide angle camera, 5 megapixel for macro, and 2 megapixel for depth sensing on the Redmi 9. While the Redmi 9C should come with either a 30 megapixel main camera, no wide angle camera, 5 megapixel for macro shots, and 2 megapixel for depth sensing. And all this will trickle down to a single camera setup on the Redmi 9A. So we should just be expecting one 30 megapixel camera on the 9A. From the leak specifications, we're expecting all 3 models to come with a 5 megapixel camera. But looking at what we had on the Redmi 8s from last year, the Redmi 8s came with an 8 megapixel camera. And I don't expect Xiaomi to go back on the specs. If you released an 8 megapixel on your previous version, I expect your newer version to have a better camera. So it's probably an 8 megapixel or a 5 megapixel. It's still leak specifications. We're not really sure about what would come on the main device. In the battery department, we're not expecting to see more differences. The Redmi 8A came with a 5000 mAh battery. I think that's really big enough. Anything beyond 5,000 milliampere, then your phone becomes a power bank and becomes so heavy. It's just basically going to be a brick. So 5,000 milliampere is the standard. It's enough for a normal phone. It should be able to take you for a day. So I don't expect them to bump up the specs of the battery. 5,000 milliampere is a perfect rating for any battery. To the storage capacity, we're expected to see about 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gig storage on the Redmi 9, while the 9A and 9C should come with about 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gig or 64 gig storage. All three models can be expanded via the SD card slot to up to 512 gigabytes. So if 64 gig or 32 gig you get internally is not okay for you, well, you can just put in an SD card and expand your storage. As usual, we should get a fingerprint sensor, and the leak shows that we're going to get an IR blaster, 3.5mm headphone jack, USB-C connector, and probably fast charging of about 18 watts. According to the leaks, the prices of the Redmi 9, 9A and 9C should have a bit of difference between them, probably $20 or $30. The Redmi 9A should go for around $160 to $180, while the Redmi 9C would be around $130 to $150. The Redmi 9A should be around $100 to $120. But knowing Xiaomi, I think they'll stick with the lower end of the price range. So the prices should be around $160 for the Redmi 9, probably $130 for the Redmi 9C, and maybe $100 for the 9A. Well, that's it for this video, guys. If you've not subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button and also click the bell button to get notifications when I post new videos. Don't forget to like, share, drop your comments about the Redmi 9 and what you'd like to see. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.